Starting your own business sounds exciting until you realize how much you still have to learn. This is how Rei faced that moment. For years, she had worked patiently, saving money, studying techniques, and imagining what her own beauty salon might one day look like. To the outside world, she already seemed ready. But inside, Rei knew something important was still missing. She understood that opening a beauty salon was not just about having a sign on the door or stylish furniture inside. It was about trust. People would walk in carrying expectations, hopes, and confidence they were placing in her hands. That realization stayed with her and shaped every decision she made. Instead of rushing forward, Rei paused. She asked herself an honest question. Was preparation the same as experience? The answer was clear. No matter how many books she read or videos she watched, real understanding lived in observation, practice, and learning from those who had already mastered the craft. So Rei chose a path many beginners overlook. She began visiting well-established beauty salons, not as a competitor, but as a student. Each visit was intentional. She paid attention to the smallest details, from the way clients were welcomed to how professionals communicated with calm confidence. She noticed how spaces were designed, not just to look beautiful, but to feel comfortable and reassuring. What surprised her most was not the luxury or the advanced techniques. It was the discipline behind the scenes. Every movement had purpose. Every decision was grounded in experience. Rei realized that professionalism was not something you could imitate overnight. It was built slowly, through consistency and respect for the craft. As she moved from one salon to another, Rei's perspective began to shift. She stopped seeing success as a final destination and started seeing it as a process. Each visit added another layer of understanding. She learned how experienced professionals handled challenges with patience, how they adapted to different clients, and how they maintained quality without losing warmth. There were moments when Rei felt inspired and humbled at the same time. She saw how far skill could be developed when paired with dedication. Rather than feeling discouraged, she felt motivated. These experiences did not make her doubt her dream. They strengthened it. They gave her a clearer picture of what kind of salon she wanted to build and what values she wanted it to stand for. By choosing to learn before leading, Rei gave herself something invaluable: perspective. She was no longer chasing an idea of success shaped by assumptions. She was building a foundation shaped by real-world observation and respect for those who came before her. And without realizing it yet, this mindset was already setting her apart. As Rei continued visiting different beauty salons, something subtle but important began to change inside her. She focused on techniques and procedures, trying to understand how experienced professionals achieved such consistent results. But over time, she realized that true professionalism extended far beyond skill alone. It lived in mindset, discipline, and the way people treated both their work and the individuals who trusted them. Rei began taking mental notes, not to copy, but to understand. She noticed how experienced professionals listened more than they spoke, how they asked thoughtful questions, and how they adjusted their approach to suit each person. This wasn't something that could be taught through instruction alone. It was learned through time, repetition, and reflection. At times, Rei felt the weight of how much there still was to learn. Standing quietly in these spaces, she became more aware of the gap between ambition and mastery. But instead of feeling discouraged, she felt grounded. Each realization brought clarity. It reminded her that growth was not about being perfect, but about being open. She also began to recognize the importance of atmosphere. A salon was not just a workplace, it was an experience. Lighting, sound, and even silence played a role. Clients seemed more relaxed when they felt respected and understood. Rei saw how professionals created trust without force, simply by being present and attentive. Rei understood then that professionalism was a promise repeated every day, not a single achievement. There were moments when Rei questioned whether she should wait longer before opening her salon, not because she doubted herself, but because she now respected the responsibility more deeply. She realized that learning was not a phase to complete, but a habit to maintain. Rei returned home from each visit with renewed focus. Her dream felt less abstract and more defined. She wasn't chasing success anymore. She was preparing to earn it. And in that preparation, she felt a sense of calm determination settle in. Without making a single public announcement or dramatic decision, Rei was changing. She was becoming more intentional, more observant, and more aligned with the kind of professional she aspired to be. Every experience added depth to her vision, even when the progress felt quiet. Over time, Rei noticed that her visits were no longer just about observation. They were changing how she thought, how she planned, and how she measured progress. The excitement she once felt about opening her own salon had matured into something steadier. It was no longer fueled by urgency, but by intention. Rei became aware of a subtle shift within herself. She was no longer overwhelmed by the high level of skill around her. Instead, she felt clarity. The professionalism she admired no longer felt distant or unreachable. It felt like a direction, one she could walk toward step by step. Rei reflected on how her definition of success had evolved. She recognized that confidence built too quickly could be fragile, while confidence built through learning was resilient. Rei revisited her original plans with clarity, realizing that growth meant refining ideas, not clinging to all of them. She stopped comparing herself to others and focused on steady, personal progress. Even when results were invisible, she trusted the process, understanding that true excellence is built quietly through patience, learning, and self-awareness. As she prepared for the future, Rei became more open, thoughtful, and grounded. She no longer asked if she was ready, but if she was willing to keep learning. Her journey showed that real professionalism is not about recognition, but about consistent improvement, integrity, and purpose, even when no one is watching. When Rei looked back on her journey, she realized that growth had arrived quietly, shaped by patience, observation, and a steady commitment to learning. Choosing to slow down had not delayed her dream, but strengthened it, giving her clarity and perspective. She no longer felt pressure to prove herself quickly, understanding that true professionalism begins long before any doors open. Through listening, preparation, and responsibility, she learned that trust and care matter as much as skill. Rei embraced the idea that learning never ends and that confidence comes from willingness to grow. Her story reminds us that meaningful progress is built with patience and purpose, creating work we can stand behind with pride. If you enjoyed this inspiring story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who believes in lifelong learning and personal growth.